Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to Bluegrass Home Garden TV. Stephanie Hubbard with Hubbard Mechanical is with us once again, and I hope this Pinterest pin that I found is a win and is one that you can actually use all year long.
All year long.
So what you need is 4 of your stretched canvases. Obviously you can go cheap, you can go more expensive. These are actually a size of 8 by 10. So if you put them all together, and I'm going to do it this way so we can get a little bit better visual, this is going to be the size of your window. So you could use this up on a shelf, on a mantle, on a door. There's so many different ways you could take this. But what they tell us to do in the pen is to remove the canvas. So we're ultimately just wanting the frame, and then we're going to stain it. Yep. We're going to whitewash it a little bit, or you could keep it stained if you want. But that whole farmhouse chic thing is a big thing. Yeah. And then you glue them all together, and then you take ribbon or a little wreath or whatever for whatever season, and you hang from it. So
super easy.
I've been wanting a window type decoration in my house, and when I saw this one, I was like, huh,
this looks awesome.
We will try it. So first thing is just unwrap them. Yep. And then start to get the canvas off. And this is something you could like literally just leave up. And I have this little boxwood wreath here. This one seems to be a pretty good size because if you look, it hangs like right in the middle. The bow would come up and hang here. I actually have a slightly smaller one too than this that might even work better.
Yeah.
We could play around with it. But you could see this could just be evergreen because this you find on people's doors every season. Yeah, of course it looks Christmassy when it needs to, but
you can make it look
do anything you want. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're gonna work on removing this, and we'll be back here in just a few. Stay tuned. Jimmy McKinney, the Skinny with J&R Construction, is with us now. You've been all over the place. It's been kind of hard to get you.
Yeah, it's been
reined in.
It's remodeling is the season, right?
Yes, everybody's trying to get everything ready so that it's done before the holidays.
Yeah.
But so we're in a project that you all completed.
Yeah.
Walk us through what really was here beforehand.
So right where we're standing used to be the wall between the kitchen and the dining room. And there's just a small opening. And as you'll see up front too, when we get up there was a closed off opening going into the foyer area. So we opened that up, took this wall completely out, engineered beams so it's a flush. You know, there's no beams hanging down, there's no soffits, anything like that. Right. And then that really opened up the possibilities to what we could design, you know, in the kitchen. And in this area, we kind of did a separate area to where you can come over, you can fix a drink, you know, you're eating. We did a leathered countertop.
And this is really nice. Like I've seen a lot of leathered countertops before, but this one just with the veins in it and everything, it almost looks like wood.
Yeah.
It's really
I was
really
thinking
cool.
too, it's like a little storm cloud.
Yeah, well that works too. Tell us about the cabinets.
The cabinets we went with a natural finish. They didn't want to, you know, painted is a big, you know, style right now and also stain, but they wanted to go natural. And these are inset cabinets. So you lose a little bit of the cabinet inside, but you get the look on the outside of where it's inset. So when you open it up, you lose a little bit of space, you know,
just
with
a little
the
bit
door,
depth,
but just a little bit. But if you've got enough storage and, you know, you've got all the slow close feature of everything.
So kids aren't running around just
drawers are all inset as well. So we were able to put a little wine fridge over here. You've got a separate sink from the kitchen. So you've got your coffee area so you can have those.
And of course you all did the floors too, right?
We did. So they had existing hardwood and then some of where we took out the walls, we blended it all in. It looks like there were never any walls here and we did some inset vents as well. So
giving everybody that really open floor plan that everybody wants.
Yeah. I mean, you can have 30, 40 people in here comfortably.
Yeah. All right. And I know next time we're going to see more of the kitchen area and the living space there. But in the meantime, if people have questions, if they're wanting to, you know, they realize that buying a new home maybe just isn't in the cards because the market's crazy and they want to remodel.
Just look up J&R Construction online or visit us online on our website, jrcsi.com, or call the office.
Thanks for keeping it here, you all. Oh gosh, never a dull moment.
No.
Sitting here looking like, what is all over this glove? These look really, really bad. Oh well. I couldn't find the latex gloves, so we're going with some gardening gloves.
Gardening gloves.
But hopefully we shouldn't make too much of a big issue.
Probably.
We did not pull out all of these. Stephanie just fought her way through.
I did.
She punched her way through. She got a little stress. She needs to Relieve. So we've got these, they just say take a very, very thin layer of stain. And you suggested just doing it with a little bit of a paper towel. So
Yeah.
the one thing I would say is you probably do want to go on the insides, outsides, and the top. Don't worry about the back, but then we're gonna have to let that dry. We're going to try to use a hairdryer to expedite this process, because then we have to go back with a very, very small amount of white paint and a dry brush and whitewash it.
Yeah.
But we'll glue them all together once they're stained.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let her do the honors of the staining.
You know.
And if it does get too dark in a place, you can always go back with a clean paper towel or
Yeah. If I
washcloth,
don't like that, I want it.
workshop rag, whatever you want to call them, and go back and try to get some of that excess off. But don't really worry about this too much, because we are going to go back with whitewash and give it a good look. And I chose a slightly lighter color than I typically tend to gravitate towards. This is a American walnut. I usually like to go really dark, but for this I was like, I don't want to have to use so much white, so we'll see.
It's going to be pretty.
Yeah, and that should dry pretty quick. So
I think
especially
so.
with this type of wood.
It's yeah. I mean, there's
it's
nothing
almost
else
like
to
a
it.
balsam. What is that? Is that what they call it? Balsam.
Maybe balsam. Maybe.
I have no idea. Somebody's going to correct me, and that's totally fine. I do not pretend to know every little thing about it when it comes to wood grains and so forth. But the really, really soft wood, you know, that they do a lot of stuff with. So we're going to keep doing this. We'll be back here in just a few. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Richard Weber out at Springhouse Gardens here in Nicholasville, Kentucky. And I wanted to talk to you about fall planting. It's a great time to get out to your local garden center. Hopefully we're your local garden center. And find all kinds of great trees, shrubs, perennials, and even some annuals that you might want to add to your garden. We're going to be highlighting 4 different plants today. 2 of them natives or nativars, varieties of native plants, and 2 that are non-native. And these are going to be easy plants to give you lots of color. So the first one is going to be an ornamental grass. This is a native grass. It's called a switchgrass, and this is one called Shenandoah. It's a nice variety because it doesn't get too tall. Shenandoah, this is about as tall as Shenandoah is going to get. Has kind of a nice little reddish tinge to it, and as the temperatures cool, it'll get even more red. And you're seeing the seed pod on it right now. So this is a nice Native American switchgrass, and this is a variety that was chosen, again, called Shenandoah, for its smaller size, more compact habit, and that nice reddish tinge. Another plant of native origin is one called ninebark. And if you've never grown the ninebarks before, there's some that have green foliage, some that have amber colored foliage, but more of the popular ones are these dark purple ones. And this is a petite variety called petite plum. This one stays smaller, but has this dark purple foliage all season long. Ninebarks are native to the eastern United States, and this is just a variety that was chosen because it had such great fall or great color. Actually, this color doesn't change much in the fall, but you've got this good dark purple all season long. Will drop its leaves, and you will have an interesting bark on it in the winter time. So look for petite plum. There's probably about 20 to 30 different varieties of ninebarks. The Latin name is Physocarpus, so look for those. We've also got a couple of more interesting shrubs too. One is a dwarf Japanese spirea. This is called double play doozy. You're going to like this one because it comes out with kind of purplish foliage, and then you got this deeper pink to almost red flower that blooms sporadically through the summer. A great shrub. And then probably the most unusual one is this one that's called a summer lilac or Himalayan lilac. Leptodermis is a plant that you're not going to probably hear much about, but it blooms from spring until fall. So you might want to come out and check that one out as well. So if you have questions about these, you can email us at greatplants@springhousegardens.com or come out and visit us at the Garden Center, 185 West Catnip Hill Road in Nicholasville. Hope to see you soon.
All right, let's imagine 24 hours has transpired, because that's what the directions say. You should let this dry. We did not apply a very thick, well, Stephanie did not apply a very thick coat, and we went with the hairdryer. So we might get a little bit of stain. In my experience, first time working with stain and choosing not to use gloves, I had it all over my hands, and olive oil tends to take it off. So that's my tip there. So we're going to glue these together. If you had big clamps that you could put these with and really let that, sit, that's probably a better option. but don't put too much because you don't want it seeping out
Yeah.
very much. But yeah, you could always go through with some little like short, finishing nails and secure it too.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes, Stephanie. So I'm gonna have you
right.
hold one this way, and I'll put it, and then we'll put it later, and we'll kind of do it in steps. Got my hot glue gun all twisted here. And actually I've got it on high, so I'm gonna switch it to low.
And we chose not to take the staples off because we just didn't care.
Because we're lazy.
Just didn't care.
And she says she didn't care. I was like, I was just too lazy. All right, so you could also use just wood glue, but
And drying time would take a lot longer. We're kind of impatient.
yeah, what? Us impatient. So you're seeing the back side, of course, to this, but okay. So I'm gonna we're gonna lay that one down. So
Okay.
are we even?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think so.
and depending upon the wood, you might get a little bit of gaps. That's where I think if you might need to go back in and just, take a little bit of a finishing nail. So we're just gonna hold that. Stephanie, I'll let you do that.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and get this one going. And we'll let these really set before we put the two pieces together. All right, so we're gonna just sit here,
Stand
and,
here.
and hold this, and then we'll do this other thing, and then we'll come back and attempt to whitewash this.
Yay!
So stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Scott with Comfort Master Heating and Air, and here's another fall winter tip for you. We're talking about fall tune-ups today, so fall/winter tune-ups. This happens to be a heat pump, which it needs to be running perfectly so that you can get the most heat out of it. Heat pumps are known for not producing quite as much heat as a gas furnace, so they do need to be tuned up, checked. We need to check the filters, we need to make sure the coils are clean, need to make sure everything is in tip-top running condition, and September, October, November is the perfect time to do it, but you need to make sure that the temperatures are low enough outside that you can actually turn it on and your licensed guy can actually check it properly. If this happens to be a gas furnace, or if you have a gas furnace in your house, one major thing that they need to look for is carbon monoxide. Because we all know what carbon monoxide can do to people. It's the silent deadly killer. You won't even know it's happening until it's too late. So that's one of the main things you do on a fall tune-up to make sure that these things are going to run safe and efficient. There's a lot of times in the wintertime that a house will actually catch fire or burn down because they weren't properly checked. So make sure you have your furnace or air handler or heat pump properly checked by a licensed technician in fall or winter. If you have any questions, you can call us at Comfort Master anytime.
All right, funny story. One of these frames is not like the other. They're all 8 by 10.
Yes, they are.
But we don't know what happened. If you look really closely on the edges, this one is slightly different than these. So our window is not squared completely. But you know what? We're dealing with cheap materials. It's a little bit of warped. That's okay.
It's okay.
It'll all be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll all be good. So,
Yeah.
but if you deal with canvases, I've done, my mom has painted all kinds of things for my house and stuff, and you can take the exact same canvas that you buy at the exact same time in a pack, and they will slightly be off just in size. So we're working with what we got.
Yep.
So now this is all solidified really, really well. I do think if you were going to use this a lot and have the potential of being kind of rough with it, use a couple finishing nails. Whatever side you're going to have being on the bottom, go up. That way you're not seeing it very much at all. So the
deal.
tip to whitewashing, and I am not an expert on whitewashing. I'll just put that out there. I know as you use a dry brush, very, very, very little paint.
Yes.
So here we go.
You got this.
I'm almost like,
Yeah, dab it off. There you go. Oh yeah. You're like a pro.
don't say that. Don't jinx me. So.
That looks good though. Yeah, less is more. I would say that was a good tip from them.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm supposed to go the same way on this grain or what, but and
I
I'm
don't
not
think
going to
it'll
worry about.
matter.
I'm not going to worry about the
Yeah.
inside. So now, before it dries, if you find that you think that that's just a little heavy there, just grab a paper towel. And then try to go back, you know. I probably should have used a smaller brush, but I will.
That's okay. It's looking good.
It's not horrible.
No. It's supposed to look rustic anyway, so. Yeah.
I know, but I want my rustic to look perfect. Right? So I'm just gonna keep working on this, and then we'll be back, and the rest of this is really easy. I mean, for the most part, the biggest pain here is letting it dry.
Which we don't wait.
Yeah. So that's the biggest issue with this. Outside of that, it's really fast.
Yeah.
So we'll be back here in just a little bit, and we'll finish this up. That's a little thick right there. That's okay. We can take sandpaper to it too.
Yeah, true story.
All right, stay tuned.
Guys, we're back at my house today, and I had taped a segment showing you how to create this, which is what I call formal fall. I'm going to take this, I'm going to just dump it, and I'm going to show how we take all these flowers and make casual fall. So you just bear with me for a minute, okay? So we're going to strip it away. Goodbye, fancy glass. It's actually clean too. Goodbye, fancy glass. Goodbye, blue and white porcelain. Goodbye, my sweet Chloe pumpkin. Goodbye, silver tray, and we're starting over. I'm coming back. Okay. Went from formal silver tray to this reclaimed wood with the live edge that a friend of mine made. But look at that. That's my starting point. I got this willow basket. I'm gonna put my flowers in. Pumpkin. I actually have a blue pumpkin because it ties together. You know I got to get rid of this, which kills me, but bye. This was a beautiful handmade bowl for me from a client that I pull out only at fall, and I just love it. And I think of fall every time I think of that, and what a beautiful gift. Add me another pumpkin. And then I want to take what I'd done before, which is my bittersweet, my beautiful seeded eucalyptus. I'm going to cluster all of these ranunculus together. I'd rather keep them as a big clump, if I can get it in there. Look at that. And you know I can't do anything unless I use me some magnolia. So kind of put that in there. Add me a little blueberry, which ties my theme of orange and blue together. Let's do another blueberry down in here. And look how free form this is. And it really looks like you just went and gathered it. And I love how fresh and light. But if you saw before, we had the silver tray and crystal and blue and white. This is the same coffee table, the same room, the same coffee table books, but I started with a more casual tray. It looks like a completely different room by just tweaking a little bit. Come and see me. Come to the website. A lot of these things are on the website that you can buy. It's housebyjsd.com.
Hi, I'm Richard Weber from Springhouse Gardens. Did you know that getting your hands dirty is sometimes a good thing? Digging in the dirt has been proven to reduce stress and provide a sense of happiness and contentment. Come find your happy at Springhouse Gardens.
Comfort Master came in and helped me do an assessment because it's a geothermal unit. The value that they give us is really important, and you know, if that's $1 or $2 higher, I'm okay with that because I know the guys are safe, I know they're well educated. Just had a great experience with Comfort Master.
When your day calls for, but the weather calls for, we call for.
You're getting a 20-minute heads up.
A WKYT First Alert Weather Day. Your first alert to when weather needs to be on your mind first. On air, online, on your phone. So you always know first. First Alert Weather Days. Only from WKYT First Alert Weather.
Did you know that most gardeners are optimists? 9 out of 10 gardeners would tell you that their watering can is half full. Why else would a gardener plant a tree that they may never get to sit under? Come improve your outlook at Springhouse Gardens.
Wake up with Bill and Andrea. Weekdays on WKYT This Morning.
Thanks for keeping it here, Stephanie.
It looks awesome.
I think it looks pretty good. I'm just saying, just saying.
You're a
So,
White House
I don't know about that. FYI, even when you get a really nice one, these still tend to like flake all over the place. So don't be alarmed. But I'm going to position that where I want it to hang. I've already pre-cut a piece of ribbon that I'm going to use to loop this, so I'm just going to take it through. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to take it around and I'm going to hot glue it on the back.
Perfect.
Or however you want to adhere it. So we're going to do that. Right now I'm just going to leave it like that, honestly, because I might even find a cheat here in a second. So, but I am going to use a little bit of hot glue just to secure this right here. So pull that down, and I'm going to go ahead and put, because it's 2 layers here I got going on. Somebody else might have an easier way to do this, and let me know.
I also got a push pin in the back.
Yeah, because you don't want your, depending on what ribbon you're using, you don't want to use too much hot glue because that could seep through.
Yeah.
So then, and I do love this because buffalo plaid, black and white, is like timeless. You know, you can use it pretty much all the time. And the burlap works really, really well with this whole whitewash look. So you could use this for Christmas by adding a couple other things, but you could also use it any time of year. Yep. So I have no idea how much to cut. We're just gonna guess. And I'm going to take this through here. I'm actually going to take it, I think, just through the top. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm just going to leave it there. All right. I cannot do a bow upside down, people. So I got to turn this way.
I can't do a bow right side up.
And nobody watch me tie this bow because somebody's like, you don't do the like pass through. And I'm like, no, I do the bunny ears. Like I don't know what y'all talking about. I think mine's a whole lot easier. So I'm just, nobody judgment. This is how I tie my shoestrings. Don't judge. Don't judge.
Bows are difficult.
Unless you talk to Dwayne over at House by JSD, who was giving me like 101 bow making more times than I care to count. Dwayne, we love you. We love you. We love you. So I'm just gonna keep working on this bow. Because I don't want it very big because this window isn't crazy big. Now, if you wanted a bigger window, you can add more. Or use bigger frames.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Use bigger frames. Or you could do a 6x6 or 3x3. Or
however you want to do it. Okay, so that's not bad. I'll trim that up. Everything I need to shape that a little bit more. It probably could have stood to be just a tad bit longer, but we'll be back here in just a few. We'll wrap it up and we'll make it a little bit more festive for the holidays.
Sounds good.
Hi, this is Richard Weber out at Springhouse Gardens, teaching you just a quick way to pull some of these great plants together for a fall planter or a pot to freshen up what could be kind of a bleak looking deck or patio or front porch. After a summer that we've had, it was hot, dry, maybe your planters have just petered out by now. So one of the things that you can do, there's no limit to what you can do in a pot. You could do mums or pansies or kale and cabbage. Those are kind of the typical things, but what you might want to do is just come out, do a little shopping, pick out some things that you just really like and that you like to get maybe for your garden, and enjoy them in a pot until you plant them out in your yard. Because any of these plants that we have right now, as long as you water them once a day or once every couple of days, depending on what the plants are, they can stay in a pot for the next, month or month and a half. There's no limit to how long some of these things can stay in a pot as long as they're taken care of. But why not enjoy them where you're living for these next few weeks and the next couple of months? Because the weather's nice now. So if you've got a pot, you want to start with really good potting soil if you haven't been growing things in it. So don't scrimp on the soil because that's really important. But this technique, you actually don't even need any soil. So it's an empty pot, nothing in there. What I'm going to show you is use anything that you have sitting around. I'm going to use an old coffee can, turn it upside down, and I've already decided that I want a mum in this pot, in this big pot. So I picked out a really pretty mum. I'm going to go with the traditional colors, and I am doing this in the reverse of how I normally do it. So I've just put the thing in the front for the camera. I like how these nandinas look, and they're great in the landscape, but I'm going to tuck this in, try to get it below the rim of the pot so that you don't really see that popping up. I am going to use one of these cool spiral rushes that are really neat, and this is actually a perennial, but I'm going to leave it in the pot. I might, If I don't have enough room for it, I might take it out of the pot and kind of squeeze it a little bit or cut a little bit on it. But I'm just literally going to tuck this down in there below the rim of the pot, and I need a little something for some height. A grass like this would be awesome if it was a big pot, but I just went to our clearance table, and that's a good secret, is go to a clearance area where we've got plants that we're basically getting ready to toss out. But gosh, wouldn't this be great? In here, you get a really good deal on them. And for the next 2 months, that's gonna be fine. You wanna touch this up with a little bit of maybe Spanish moss or a little bit of pine straw. It really doesn't look horrible, the back of it, but what you're trying to do is make sure that that front looks good. You might even dress it up with a pumpkin or acorn squash to kind of cover up some of those areas, and you can kind of physically wire those in so that it hides any of the pots and things. Just make sure when you water these, you get each individual pot, the water's gonna drain out the bottom. You can leave this for months, change it out, plant things, come and grab other things, throw some pansies in. The sky's the limit. So I hope you have fun. You don't have to get dirty. You can do this quick. Just get you some pretty plants. Come out and see us. 185 West Catnip Hill Road, Springhouse Gardens in Nicholasville, Kentucky.
We are almost out of time. I'm loving this one, you all. This might be my favorite one I think we've ever done since we've been doing the Pinterest things.
I love this one.
Yes.
It's simple. It's
And you can use it every
timeless.
season.
Yes.
Every season. So this is what some of my hot glue is stuck to the table.
Oh, no.
That's okay. All right, so there is our window.
Very cute.
This could be, you could still leave this up during Christmas because the buffalo plaid makes it enough.
Yeah.
But we found things like Believe and Peace and Joy that you could actually just put
Super
right up
easy.
here.
Yeah.
You could also take some of our super cheap florals, or you could go nicer and just add a couple up here if you wanted to.
Yeah. It's very cute.
Yeah, but I'm loving this. You could even have fun with it, people. This one is just so easy. I love it. We might even just have to come back for every season and just update, just to remind you of what you can do if you choose to do this.
Yeah.
But I would suggest, because
Definitely.
you're working with cheaper materials, the only thing that wasn't $1 or less was this, and this ribbon's a nicer ribbon. So everything we've used here, actually in the frame, is cheap.
Cheap. Yeah.
So $4. Then you have your stain and a little bit of paint. So yeah, this is
Super
fun.
cute, though.
I love this one.
I love it, too.
This is a big win. Big
Yeah.
win. So
I think so.
yeah, I'm totally digging this one, guys. If you do it, share your pictures. I want to see. Or if you even have a window and you're like this and you're decorating it for all the different holidays, share those with us as well. So we will see you next time for more great ideas here on Bluegrass Home Garden TV.